Hey, what's happening guys? Welcome to EReviews. In this video, let's take a look at the ULEFONE uWear Bluetooth Smartwatch. It's the company's first attempt at wearable tech, so without any further ado, let's get into it. Speaking a bit about the purchase, I got this one from gearbuzz.com for $29.99, but now the watch is available at $21.99. So this is the packaging that it arrived in. Let's quickly go ahead and unbox it. Opening the box, you will be greeted by the smartwatch itself. You also get a small box which should ideally contain the accessories and the documentation. But unfortunately, mine did not have any accessories, it just had the documentation. Nor did the smartwatch switch on. So I connected it to my smartphone charger and prayed for it to switch on, and thankfully it did. Initial impressions, this is definitely one of the best built Bluetooth smartwatches from a Chinese manufacturer, and probably the best knockoff of the Apple Watch up to date. Speaking about the build quality, the watch case is made out of 316L stainless steel. I really don't know what that means, but it is rock solid and sturdy. And even the look is absolutely premium. It gives you that feel of holding a high-end HTC device. The strap is made out of fluoroelastomer, the same material that's used on the strap of the Apple Watch. At the back you have the Apple Watch-like design, but it's only cosmetic. It does not double as a heart rate sensor. You also get a mic to respond to calls and a speaker which is surprisingly loud and clear. The whole watch case is sealed off to maintain the IP65 rating. Yes, it is waterproof, but I wouldn't recommend taking a shower with it. Coming to the display, it's a 1.44-inch 2.5D ARC display with a pixel resolution of 128x128. It's nowhere near an IPS LCD display, but it definitely justifies the $22 price tag. Coming to the internals of the device, it's powered by a MediaTek processor which is of unknown specifications, coupled with 32 MB of RAM and 32 MB of ROM. Yes, it is minuscule, but we should keep in mind that it's a Bluetooth smartwatch and not some Android Wear. All this is backed up by a 220 mAh battery, which doesn't really get you through the day if you get a lot of notification or if you use the loudspeaker a lot. But if you're using it as a normal watch with just screen on and off, it'll definitely give you 3 to 4 days. So coming to the verdict on build quality, it's got a premium build. It looks and feels awesome in the hand. It's also got IP65 rating, so I would give it a great score of 9 out of 10 when it comes to build quality. Coming to features and performance end of things, as I mentioned earlier, this is not an Android Wear. It's a basic Bluetooth smartwatch that extends some notification features from your smartphone to something on your hand. When it comes to connectivity end of things, the smartwatch is powered by Bluetooth 4.0, and there are absolutely no issues connecting your smartphone with this watch. As you can see, I was able to connect to my OnePlus One within a couple of seconds. So good job on that. The company did provide an application to manage this smartwatch, but you can render it useless as most of the features do not work. So I highly recommend using a third-party application to manage this smartwatch. You can choose what notifications you get on the smartwatch, but that's the maximum the app can do for you. Coming to the speakers, I was pretty much blown away by the loudness and clarity of sound. Here is a sound test. When it comes to application end of things, most of it are self-explanatory and they do perform what they claim to do. Take for example the dialer application. I was able to receive and make calls without any issues, but the mic was a bit dodgy as it missed few sounds here and there, but nothing major. Moving on to other applications, the messaging app seems to sync and display data in real time, but you're restricted to 2 actions, that is viewing and calling the sender. You will not be able to forward or reply to the message via the application. The phone book application also works perfectly. It syncs data from your smartphone and displays the list of contacts you have. The same goes with call logs. Your missed call dials and received calls reflect correctly on the smartwatch. Next up, you have the QR code which directs you to download the application which we discussed about earlier, and the notifier also links with the application to perform certain tasks. Next up, you have an interesting feature called Capture, which helps you remotely take pictures on your smartphone. Once again, to make all these applications work, you need to download the Fundu application which we discussed about earlier. Next, you have anti-lost feature. So the smartwatch vibrates on your hand when you get out of range of your smartphone. This is a nifty feature for those forgetful minds out there. Next up, you have settings option which has 3 options under it. Let's start off with common settings. This is the place where you can change date, time, language and wallpaper. Unfortunately, you have just one wallpaper to deal with. Coming back to the list, you have security settings and restore settings, and that's about it under the settings application. The calendar application is a digital extension of your wall calendar. It only shows the date. You will not be able to set reminders or notifications. Next up is the alarm application. Since the loudspeaker is plenty loud, I see myself using the smartwatch as my primary alarm device. The calculator app is self-explanatory. It performs some basic mathematical calculations, nothing major. Next up, you have the apps that are sort of gimmicky in my opinion, as they do not perform the actions that they were meant to. Kicking off the list is the Altimeter. It is stuck at relative height of 0.0 meters. Nothing that I do changes this value. Following it up is the barometer, again stuck at 0.0 atmospheric pressure and -5 degrees Celsius. I really haven't seen Bangalore go down to -5 like ever. The pedometer does work, but there's a huge lag in populating the data on the smartwatch. It does register your steps correctly, but that time delay is pretty annoying. Wrapping up the list is the audio player, again going back to the awesome loudspeaker. Performs perfectly, no issues with it. And last, you have profiles where you can change to general, silent. As I mentioned earlier, the vibration is pretty strong on the ULEFONE uWear. So that wraps up the application part of the smartwatch. Coming to the verdict on performance, keeping in mind that it is a Bluetooth smartwatch, I've given it a decent score of 6 out of 10. Therefore, the ULEFONE uWear gets an overall score of 15 out of 20. I would have definitely given it a bit more if all the applications worked and it had a better battery backup. Keeping in mind the price to performance ratio, this is definitely one of the best Bluetooth smartwatches out there. So if you're looking for a Bluetooth smartwatch, then you should definitely consider picking up this one. Alright guys, so that brings me to the end of this video. I hope you guys liked it. If you did, go ahead and give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more such videos. Also like EReviews on Facebook and Google+. You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram. All the links will be mentioned in the description below.